Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, this is Premarasa Devidasi. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. So nice to hear your voice.
Hare Krishna, this is Govardhan Leela. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Am I the only one on the call? Hare Krishna? Hare
Premarasa.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Premarasa's on here, and then there's another phone number I don't know who belongs to. But there's
Okay,
4 of
I
us
couldn't get
altogether.
on. I'm having trouble getting on my computer, so I have to use the phone right now. I don't know, it's been acting up. So I just have to do that's why I'm late, because I couldn't get on all of a sudden. Okay, Mataji's, did you all say prayers, or shall I say prayers? Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, I muted myself. No, we haven't.
Okay. I will start then. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha.
Shri
Shri
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Manobishtam
Manobhistam Stapitam
Stapitam Yena
Yena
Bhutale
Bhutale Svayam
Swayam Rupa
Rupa
Kadamayam
Kadamayam
Dadati
Padantikam
Svapadantikam Panchakapatarubhyascha
Panchakapatirubhyacha
Kripa
Kripa
Sindhubhya
Sindhubhya
Eva Cha
Evacha
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha
Namaha.
Jaya Shri
Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadara
Gadadhara
Shri Vasadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Gaura
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda
Vrinda.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama
Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare, Narayanam
Namaskritya
Namaskritya, Naram Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam, Devim Saraswatim
Vyasam
Vyasam,
Tato
Tato Jayam Udirayet,
Udarayat
Nashta Prayashu
Staprayasya Bhadrasam
Abadrashu,
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata,
Sevaya
Sevaya, Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Uttama
Uttama
Shloke,
Shloke Bhaktir
Bhaktir
Bhavati
Bhavati Naishtaki.
Nishtaki.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Who is on the call? It's you were saying who's on the call again? I can't see who's on now because I'm using the phone. Pramarasa
Manasiganga,
messages.
Pramarasa, Manasiganga, and then there's a 773 phone number. I don't know who it belongs to, and there's no label there, so I don't know.
I think
Gotcha,
it's Ruchi
Mataji.
Mataji.
Who's?
Ruchi Mataji.
Oh, Ruchi.
Yeah, I'm in
Very nice.
her house, so she's here also. So we both are here.
Okay, so today, Mataji's, we're finishing Canto 3. Can you believe this? Parts 1 and 2. We are done. Canto 3, Chapter 33, text 31 to the end. I believe it's 37. They're not long purports at all. Okay, yesterday we're talking about, well, I don't even want to go there yet. I'll get into it when I explain. But we were talking about Devahuti reaching a certain level of liberation. I had been a little confused because she had reached what they call Brahma Nirvana. This is, she went to one of the Vaikuntha planets, and all of the Vaikuntha planets have a particular name of Vishnu. And her son, Kapila Dev, had a Vaikuntha planet. It was called Kapila Vaikuntha. So she was promoted to that planet to meet Kapila, and she was to reside there eternally. And what I was understanding, my confusion was that I always thought that if you go to the spiritual world, you meet with the Lord, and if you're not meeting with the Lord face to face and giving him devotional service, then you would have to come back to the material platform. But I come to understand that if there is devotional service being performed, it doesn't have to be the same, the intimate devotional service that's performed when you directly associate with the Lord face to face. But if you're still performing devotional service to the Lord, you do not come back to this material world. You will come back if you're reaching only the Brahmajyoti effulgence, even though it's in the spiritual world. You still have to come back because there's no devotional service being performed there. So you still have to come back to learn how to perform unalloyed devotional service to the Lord, and then you can go back to the spiritual world. So that, was something somehow it didn't sit right in my mind years ago, and now I think I'm finally seeing it for what it is. It's very nice. So this is where Devahuti was promoted. She was eternally promoted to the spiritual world in a different, let's say, mood on the planet of Kapila Vaikuntha. And so now we're beginning text 31. Tadirasit punyatamam kshetram trailokya vishrutam namna siddha padam yatra sasamsidin upe yushi. Translations and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The palace where Devahuti achieved her perfection, my dear Vidura, is understood to be a most sacred spot. It is known all over the three worlds as Siddhapada. Text 32. Tasyastad yoga viduta martyam abut sarit shrotasam pravara tomya siddhida siddha sevita. Translation. Dear Vidura, the material elements of her body have melted into water and are now a flowing river, which is the most sacred of all rivers. Anyone who bathes in that river also attains perfection, and therefore all persons who desire perfection go bathe there. Okay. I don't want to, take over everything. So is anybody interested in reading a little bit? It's up to, it's up to you. Would somebody care to read, or I'll continue?
I'll read.
Oh,
30.
very nice. Thank
Okay,
you.
33. Kapilo pi Mahayogi Bhagavan Pitur Asramat Mataran Samanujanapya Pragudusim Tisam Yayau. My dear Vidura, the great sage Kapila, the personality of Godhead, left his father's hermitage with the permission of his mother and went towards the northeast. 34. I have to, okay, 33. I'm sorry, I keep on losing my my place here on the internet. Okay, it was 33, right? No,
We're
34
doing
now.
34 now.
Okay. Siddha Charana Gandharvair Manubis Kapsara Ganai Stuyamana Sumutrena Datarhana Niketanaha. Translation. While he was passing in the northern direction, all the celestial denizens, known as Charanas and Gandharvas, as well as the Munis and the damsels of the heavenly planets, prayed and offered him all respects. The ocean offered him oblations and a place of residence. Purport. It is understood that Kapila Muni first went towards the Himalayas and traced the course of the river Ganges, and he again came to the delta of the Ganges at the sea now known as the Bay of Bengal. The ocean gave him residence at a place still known as Ganga Sagara, where the river Ganges meets the sea. That place is called Ganga Sagara Tirtha, and even today people gather there to offer respects to Kapila Dev, the original author of the Sankhya system of philosophy. Unfortunately, the Sankhya system has been misrepresented by an impostor who was also named Kapila, and that other system of philosophy does not tally with anything described in the Sankhya of Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam. 35. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just trying to see if anybody else wanted to read.
Mm-hmm.
And if, I just don't want you to feel you have to do all the reading, Mataji. It's up to you.
No, go ahead.
Would
Let someone
anybody-
else.
Is somebody interested in reading?
Yeah, I don't have a book, Mataji.
Okay, that's fine. All right, well then, if you want, Manasi Ganga, you can continue reading.
Okay, 35. Aste yogam samastaya sankhya charayer abhistuta trayanam api lokanam upasantya yai samahitaha. Translation. Even now Kapila Muni is staying there in trance for the deliverance of the conditioned souls in the three worlds, and all the acharyas or great teachers of the system of Sankhya philosophy are worshipping him. You want me to continue on?
Yeah, I'll finish. I can finish it then. Okay, Mataji, thank you so much for reading all of that. All right, and then text 36. Etan nigaditam tata yat prishto eham tavanaga kapilasya cha samvado devahutyascha pavanaha. My dear son, since you have inquired from me, I have answered. O sinless one, the descriptions of Kapila Dev and his mother and their activities are the purest of all pure discourses. Text 37. Yaidam anush prinoti yo abitate Kapila muner matam atma yoga guhyam bhagavati krita dihi Suparnaketav Upalavate Bhagavat Padaravindam. Translation: the description of the dealings of Kapila Dev and his mother is very confidential, and anyone who hears or reads this narration becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is carried by Garuda, and he thereafter enters into the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Purport: the narration of Kapila Dev and his mother Devahuti is so perfect and transcendental that even if one only hears or reads this description, he achieves the highest perfectional goal of life, for he engages in the loving service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt that Devahuti, who had the Supreme Lord as her son, and who followed the instructions of Kapila Dev so nicely, attained the highest perfection of human life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 33rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Activities of Kapila. End of the third canto. Wow. Okay. So I've given you a little background as to what was going on prior to this text 31. And yes. So now we are to understand that Devahuti was at a particular palace when she achieved her liberation. Okay, and it's considered a very sacred spot, and it's known all over the three worlds. And the three worlds we understand to be the upper, the middle, and the lower planetary systems. So all over the universe, let's say, as a Siddhapada. Okay, and I believe in this liberation, she did leave her body, because in text 32 it says that all of her material body melted into water, and it's now a flowing river. And I'm not sure what the name is of this particular river. I know the Ganges is probably the most sacred river, and also Radhakund. But if anybody knows what river this is, please enlighten me. So those who bathe in this particular river also attain perfection. And so if you want to attain perfection, you go and bathe there. Now, it's not giving me in this particular text, not telling me where it is. So maybe some Matajis who know this place could tell me where it is. Now we know that Devahuti's son, he left his father's hermitage with his mother's permission, and he went towards the northeast. I'm not sure where that is. I'm thinking, isn't that more towards Mayapur or towards the Himalayas? I'm not sure. But he went through into the northern direction, and everybody, including the Charanas and the Gandharvas, the Munis, and the damsels of the heavenly planets, they offered their respectful obeisances to Kapila Dev. And even the ocean offered him respect and a place of residence. So here it is. It explains in the purport that Kapila Muni first went towards the Himalayas and traced the course of the river Ganges. Maybe it is the river Ganges. Well, anyway, that's not where Devahuti was. He again came to the delta of the Ganges at the sea known as the Bay of Bengal. So he went, it says the ocean gave him residence at a place still known as the Ganga Sagara, where the Ganges meets the ocean. So people still gather at that place. This is a holy place, and they still offer respects to Kapila Dev. And some people, they say, have misrepresented Kapila. Okay, there's an imposter who misrepresented the Sankhya system of philosophy, and because it doesn't have anything to do with the Sankhya system that Kapila describes in the Srimad Bhagavatam that we've been talking about. So that's when we know as devotees that this particular system, if there's an imposter, talking about, that happened because yesterday my husband was saying, oh, look, this documentary is talking about Krishna. And it was so nonsensical. I thank God I had been reading in these books, because I could have believed some of these crazy things they were saying. People will say anything. Like it says, we have to be very careful what we're listening to. So it's very interesting. Even now, Kapila Muni is staying at this place in trance to deliver the conditioned souls in the three worlds. And they're worshiping him, all the acharyas, all the great teachers, etc. So it's interesting that he is he's still there today, let's say, and he's in trance, and he can still deliver the conditioned souls. It's, I think, all a perspective. It's all a question of what is your perspective when you go to these holy places. And I think our Guru Maharaj was talking about that in Vrindavan. There are people who go to Vrindavan, and for some reason they just can't feel the ecstasy or the nectar or the transcendental bliss that other people can feel. And so we have to understand these souls. This is what it sounds like to me, that Kapila Muni, he's come down from his, what is that, his Kapila Vaikunta planet, and he's staying in this very holy place to deliver the conditioned souls. So it's a matter of consciousness or vision for people. I would imagine that people who come there and have that vision, they can be delivered. But if they see the place as material, they're not going to get much advancement. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but I'm sure you'll all make some comments. Now, in 36, we are to understand that Kapila Dev and his mother and all of their activities together are considered, and their activities and their discourses are the purest of the pure. Okay, so this is, and it's also in the last translation and purport, we understand that those dealings together, Kapila Dev and his mother, these dealings were very confidential. So the fact that anyone who is reading this narration becomes a devotee, who's carried by Garuda, he thereafter enters into the abode of the Supreme Lord. That's pretty heavy. To engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So these are very, very perfect transcendental narrations and stories. And if you just hear this or read this with the right ears, I believe, we can achieve the highest perfectional goal of life. Wow. And Devahuti attained the highest perfection of human life. Okay, she realized the Lord in her particular I'm going to say, she realized, Lord, I believe it was in the Paramatma, the super soul within the heart is what I believe she attained. When I go back to text 30, it says that according to Vedic, no, that's the wrong spot. It says, Atmana means realization of the super soul within the heart. Ultimately, the highest perfection is realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is to be understood that Devahuti entered the planet which is called Kapila Vaikuntha. And then but it's my understanding that her realization, she achieved like a level of nirvana, which is Brahma Nirvana. And it was the super soul within the heart. She realized the super soul within the heart, and she achieved liberation. So that's my understanding, and I really would appreciate any additions or correcting or comments that you may have about these texts. Oh, I feel so enlivened by this. This Bhagavatam is so powerful. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Are you still there, Mataji?
Yeah, I'm looking here on everybody's still here.
Very nice. I'm sorry, when I didn't hear, I thought, oh, brother, I've been babbling and my phone went dead or something, you know.
So I have a question, just because I haven't been here throughout the entire chapter. So on the 36, it's saying, my dear son, since you've inquired from me, I have answered. O sinless one, the descriptions of Kapila Dev and his mother and their activities are the purest of all pure discourses. So that made me think, okay, so someone's narrating it, and I looked up, I scrolled, and it was Sri Maitreya, and I'm not sure who she is. I was just wondering if you or anybody else knows the one that's narrating the story. Who is she? You know, what is important about her that we should know?
I don't think isn't this a messenger or a scribe? I'm not positive, but I think in the Bhagavad Gita, there was also someone who did the narrating similarly.
Well, it identifies it earlier in this chapter. Oh, near the top, near the beginning. I'm just scrolling back again, and like for example, oh God, I'm sorry, I got something else. It says Maitreya Uvacha, Sri Maitreya said, and that is like in 12. I'm just wondering who Maitreya is.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not absolutely positive, but I think these are, what would they be called, messengers or scribes or, because if they have the similar thing in the Bhagavad Gita is what I'm saying, a similar person. In fact, it might have even been the same person. I'm not positive. Premarasa Mataji, do you know about that? I think it's in Bhagavad Gita also. Let me
I don't know.
See if I can. You know, maybe this started pouring here. Maybe that's why my computer won't turn on. My computer just shut off automatic. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get in here. And,
So it is
oh, wait, let
written
me,
over here. I read it that um, Maitreya was one of the disciples of Maharishi Parashar. So Maharishi Parashar was the father of Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva, who has written Srimad Bhagavatam,
He wrote it.
Parashar was his father. So one of his fellow students, like how we are fellow students, thus Vyasadeva and Maitreya were friends, and mutually they were like um let's go, hold on.
So you just so I can repeat back, Maitreya was a fellow student of
Vyasadeva.
Vyasadeva who wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
let me take a look here. I finally got into the computer. It's like it's a miracle after, half an hour I've been trying to get on. Okay. Yeah, well, so those are the ones. The students would be the ones who would be either narrating, correct, or writing down?
Yeah.
Narrating?
Here it is written, Maitreya was a great sage and a learned scholar, philosopher, but not a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his meeting
Right.
with the Lord at that time may have been due to Agyana Svikriti or some unknown devotional service. Pure devotees always engage in pure devotional activities, and therefore their meeting with the Lord is natural. But when those who are not up to that standard meet the Lord, it is due to the unforeseen fortune of accidental devotional service. So accidentally he was serving his father. So Vyasadev's father, and so they were so he had met Krishna, and so that was because of unknown devotional service, and so
Thank you.
Okay,
yeah,
I
it
think,
is
let
written
me
over
see. It
here.
looks like I'm getting on.
Although both Uddhav and Maitreya were great souls, the Lord's attention was more on Uddhav because he was a spotlessly pure devotee. Whereas Maitreya, here it is written, his devotion was mixed. He was not a pure devotee, and um, so yeah, I mean, Uddhav was more intimate than with Maitreya Muni, than with Maitreya Muni. So he was like not a pure devotee of the Lord, but he, like how I read that he did meet Krishna.
Yeah, so the definition for pure devotional service says that the service has to be intentional, and you said that it was not intentional, right? It was just
Yes,
his service was
accidental.
accidental. Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Does anybody know what river is so sacred where Devahuti took liberation or achieved her liberation?
According to my understanding, it is not a physical river. It is a like a spiritual river. It is saying it is a. I was also reading about it, and I was like, what river? So it is the river in which all of her um, like senses are melting. So it is not an actual physical river. It is just like a symbolic river, like how they say symbolically, like all my senses are melting into a river. So like that, according to my understanding, I don't know if anybody else has to comment on it, but I don't know, when I was reading about it and I was thinking about it, and then I thought that this is a.
Okay. Well, it
So
says Go ahead, Mataji.
So in other words, it's kind of like when she withdrew her senses. Is that it? And is that what you meant when her senses were melted?
Yeah,
When she withdrew her.
yeah. Like it's not that her senses actually melted into a river. It is like a symbolic thing that she attained liberation from the
Yeah.
senses because her senses didn't mean anything anymore, and so it is like being melting into a river of enlightenment is a kind of a symbolic thing.
Well, but it does say here that maybe I'm reading it too literally.
What number is that?
They have melted into water. This is number 32. I'm probably reading into it more than I need to. The material elements of her body have melted into water and are now a flowing river, which is the most sacred of all rivers. Anyone who bathes in that river also attains perfection, and therefore all persons who desire perfection go bathe there. So I was just kind of wondering, is Siddhapad considered a river? It says it's the most sacred spot.
I might be wrong. Maybe I should check again some other sources because I might be wrong. If it's saying that all people who need liberation have to go and bath there, maybe I should confirm it before saying. But according to me, it seems symbolic.
Of course, I mean, it does because the body melts into the water, which becomes a river. I mean, this is very transcendental. But still that river today is considered the most sacred of all rivers. And I was just wondering which river it might be. That's,
Hare Krishna Mataji, maybe you can check with Maharaj because there is no purport to that verse, so we don't really know what that river is. So maybe Maharaj can
okay.
tell us. Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got another question for him, so I might as well ask him that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll ask him that question too about the river.
Thank you, Mataji.
Because I thought you might know what it was, Prema Rasa Mataji, because if people go there, if it's a real place, I'd like to know what it is. Maybe someday I'll go there,
Mataji, I don't know like what specifically or here Maitreya is saying to Vidura. No, sorry, Vidura is talking to Maitreya. I don't know what is the river he's referring to.
Okay. Is it in Bhagavad Gita, Mataji, where they say?
Okay, there it is. I'm sorry. It is actually over here. It is written. Was there a river Sunanda over there? There was a river called Sunanda over there.
Sunanda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where
It
is
is saying something. Let me check.
Where are you seeing?
I have to check it. If you go to this place, it's called bhaktisundar.org. Bhakti Sundar. I was just trying to check it online if there is an actual river. So some kind of a river is there, but I'm checking on it. It's not opening. For some reason, it stops opening. My Google thing isn't opening, but it says there is a Sunanda river somewhere nearby. So I don't know. We go to bhaktisundar.org.
Okay. And Premarasa Mataji, this Maitreya Uvacha, it keeps saying it here. Isn't that a similar thing that keeps being said in the Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah. Uvacha means speak. So if it is
No,
Bhagwan
I'm not,
Uvacha, it means that Krishna is speaking. So if it is says Maitreya Uvacha, it means that Maitreya is speaking. So Uvacha means
okay, yeah,
speaking. So it is like in the conversation, when the dialogue changes from one person to another person, then they say that the other person has started to speak. Then they refer to that as Uvacha.
okay. Thank you. Okay, any other thoughts or questions or
Mataji, sorry, we had some guests, so we
realizations?
both were a little distracted today, so we missed like most part of the class that you shared. Like my sister and I, we had like a guest at home, so sorry about that.
Okay, Mataji. I'm just glad that all of you are here for me, you know. Yeah, what I was asking here, we have Kapila Muni. He went into trance. This is in text 35 for the deliverance of the conditioned souls. Okay, and everybody people are still worshiping him. Okay, so does that mean he came down from his Kapila Vaikuntha planet, and his soul is both there in the spiritual world and also in the material world to deliver the conditioned souls?
Yes, Mataji, he's simultaneously existing in two places.
Okay. Okay, that's making good sense.
Yeah.
Which text was that?
That was 35.
35, thank you.
And another thought came to my mind. Why would the descriptions of Kapila Dev and his mother be the most pure of all discourses? I mean, we've heard a lot of different types of discourses and very confidential knowledge. And I'm just curious as to why their discourses are the purest.
Mataji, actually, he speaks about Sankhya philosophy, but in all of that, he's actually describing devotional service. So that is the reason that it is purest. Because it's all like the whole thing is talked about is devotional service. He's speaking about how one should be absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord. So, especially at the time when they're leaving their body, their thoughts should be focused at the lotus feet of the Lord. So that's what it is. Like that's the gist of the entire teaching.
Okay.
Like we read so many chapters, and all of that. Like what she did at the end is from the instructions she received from her son.
Thank you very much, Marissa.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually, I was thinking about our discussion from yesterday, and then like something that was coming to my mind later is that like we were talking about how there are different Vaikuntha planets, and then Kapila Dev had his own Vaikuntha planet. Actually, like devotees have different Ishtadevs, means they have their favorite deities. Different devotees have different favorite deities. So some devotees like Krishna in the form of Jagannath. Some devotees like Krishna in the form of Narsimhadev. Some devotees like Krishna in the form of Lord Vishnu. So different devotees have different mode of worshipping the Lord. It is only in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya that we have Radha and Krishna and their intimate pastimes as the highest. But like in India, they say that actually Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu. So for them, Vishnu is the highest form, and they like worshipping Vishnu as the supreme personality of Godhead. So different people worship Vishnu or Krishna in a different mode. So a person who is attached to Narsimhadev will actually go to the planet of Lord Narsimha. A person who is attached to worshipping Jagannath will go to Jagannath's planet. And because Kapila Dev's mother, she was attached to Kapila Dev, she went to Kapila Dev's planet. Now in Narsimhadev's planet also, there is deity worship, and then there is like somebody can make garlands for Narsimhadev, somebody can worship Narsimhadev, and then they have pastimes with Narsimhadev, but they cannot have the Gopa and Gopi pastimes with Narsimhadev, because we know that the mood of Narsimhadev worship is that of awe and reverence. Like the form of Narsimhadev is so fearful that one cannot go and feed Narsimhadev. Like cannot put Narsimhadev in their lap and then play a single lullaby for Narsimhadev. So depending on who they like to worship, they go to that planet, and there the pastimes that are performed are different depending on the predominant rasa of that planet. I don't know if this was more helpful, but I was thinking about like how that should be explained from yesterday. And then I thought probably like this would be more helpful, but I'm not sure if this was helpful.
Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense, Mataji. But now when I think of the Lord Jesus, okay, Lord Jesus Christ, people say that those who worship Lord Jesus go to his planet. But this planet would then be within this, then it's not in the spiritual world. Or is it a Vaikuntha planet?
It is a
Or
Vaikuntha planet.
is it just, oh, it is.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
They're all spiritual planets.
Because, so he is, so that is, that, so people who, like my family who worships Jesus, if there's only one person I can think who really worships him properly, will go to his planet, and that planet is a Vaikuntha planet, correct?
Yeah.
Within the material world, because I always thought it was within the material world.
Vaikuntha?
No. Jesus's planet.
Oh, Mataji, that part I don't know. But like Prabhupada always said that Jesus is son of God. So if somebody is actually his follower, then it is quite possible that they're also going to the spiritual world. But I'm not sure so much about Jesus' planet, Mataji.
Well, my take on it is that Jesus says in the Bible that I will go and prepare a place for you. My Father has many palaces, and I will go and prepare a place for you. So according to the propensities of the person, he can transfer them to these spiritual planets according to the propensity of the person, because he has said it like 2-3 times in the Bible that I will go in my Father's house has many mansions, and I will go and prepare a place for you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Ruchi Mataji. But you know what? This kind of confuses me, because I've asked my guru once before about Jesus, and he said that Jesus's planet is within the material world, even though it's a heavenly planet, not in the spiritual world. Now that I'm not quite sure why.
Mataji, actually, sometimes some special people are sent who can actually be the instruments to bring us close to Krishna. Like, for example, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi, the four Kumaras, these are all actually genuine sampradayas. And people who actually worship Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva helps them to come closer to Krishna. Although they're worshipping Shiva, but then if they're actually worshipping in the Shiva Sampradaya, then he actually helped them to come close to Krishna. So I'm thinking that, like, Jesus is also like that. Like, he's actually helping us move close to love of God.
You know what? It occurs to me that perhaps now, maybe I don't want to speculate, but that he's within the material world because a lot of people are not performing devotional service directly to him.
Mataji, can you say
In
it
other
again?
words,
I couldn't hear it so well.
because my guru said,
Yeah.
how did he word it? He said something like, they'll come to Jesus's planet and he will teach them devotional service.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel that, when he said it that way, my impression is that people really are not, their devotion is more, sometimes it's indirect. It's not directed to the Lord. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. But, this is all starting to fit, but, I have to ask like 1,000 questions because I have to envision in my mind, that picture they have of the Krishna Loka and the Brahmajyoti and all of that. I have that picture there and I'm thinking, oh, so where is Christ's planet? And when I asked my guru, he said, oh, it's within the spiritual realm. I mean, I'm sorry, within the material world. It's the highest heavenly planets. People, and when they go to Christ's planet, they learn devotional service. So I'm still a little, shaky about some of these places. But I'm learning enough. Yeah, I have a lot to learn.
We are all together, Mataji. We're all learning together. So
this is very, very deep subject matter. So it takes a little time for everything to gel properly.
Yeah.
But this was great. This is great. Oh my goodness, we're going to start the 4th canto. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. Isn't that wonderful? I've been waiting since we started reading the Bhagavatam. I thought, oh, the day will come when we're in the 4th canto, and we're getting there.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What's so special about the 4th canto? I mean, more so than anything else.
I remember Nityananda Prabhu giving a lecture early in the morning once, and he said, when you reach the 4th canto, if you're not careful, you can get very lost in it. There's something very deep in that canto that apparently is not in the others. I mean, it's not the Rasa dance either. I don't know exactly, but he did talk about that. He said, when you're reading the 4th canto, that's why the 4th canto comes where it is. He said, because if you were reading it in the very beginning, you could get very confused. He says, you will get lost in there without the proper vision.
Oh, is it the Rasa dance and all the Radha Krishna Leela in the 4th canto?
thought that was in the 10th canto. Am I wrong? Or is it in the, I thought it was in the 10th canto. What canto describes the rasa dance?
10th.
The 10th. So it can't be that, but that's, maybe I'm in the, maybe I'm thinking wrong, but I remember the 4th canto being very, very special.
Mataji, 10th canto is rasa dance. What you said is right. I don't know about 4th canto, but
The
yeah,
10th
10th canto.
canto.
Mhm.
So what is it about the 4th canto that is so different and special? Because I haven't read it yet.
I don't know. I'm looking at the titles in part of Dhruva, his pastimes. Dhruva Maharaj goes back to Godhead. About King Prita. I don't know. Chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. It's called The Creation of the Fourth Order. That's Canto 4.
Wow. Oh my God.
Well,
I don't know
See,
what
it's a
that
surprise
means.
for us. So as we keep reading, we will get to know more.
He will.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell us at the end if what you remember now from that.
From 3rd canto? Or
No. When she gets to the end of the 4th canto, she'll
yeah.
have to tell us what was so special during that class that she heard from Nityananda Pran. Yeah.
Yes.
He
Definitely.
did say that. Unless I have the cantos wrong, I've been waiting since the beginning because he mentioned that. He said it's very deep and you have to have the right vision when you're reading it or you can get very lost in the 4th canto.
Huh.
Now don't forget there's 2 parts. There are 2 books. So
Okay.
the second, I don't know what the second book is. Maybe it's in the second half of the 4th canto. I don't know.
Canto 5, is that what you're thinking? Canto 5 is the... Okay.
No. It's canto 4, then there's part 1 and part 2.
Oh.
So there's 2 thick books on the 4th canto.
Oh, so lots.
Just like there was for the 3rd canto and the second. I mean, we had, oh no, wait, the second book, I don't know if we had 2 parts, but this one we did. Anyway, I'll find out. Maybe I don't hear properly sometimes. I hope I heard correctly. But I thought I remembered him saying that about the 4th canto. He could have been talking about the 10th canto. I mean, I don't know. Because the 10th canto, you could really get lost if you don't know what you're reading. So we'll find out. Okay, Mataji? I guess I have to go. And
Thank you for your nice
so thank you all
class.
for being there.
Thank you.
You all for your discussion and your knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for everybody who added to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Ki
Very
Jai.
much. Hare Krishna.